Hello, everyone. Today we're following the story of a small family, Huyen, Day, and their little daughter, Maya. A life that seemed peaceful, suddenly threatened by Thomat, the younger brother of Day's ex-wife, who harbors deep resentment. When Thomat appears, watching and endangering them, it is only a timely intuition and Day's courage that save the family from danger. This story reminds us that true happiness must be cherished and protected, and sometimes just one timely action can save the ones we love. If you want to follow more emotional, thrilling, and meaningful stories like this, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Under the city sky still heavy with morning mist, Huyen and Day's small family lived what seemed to be a peaceful life. Their house lay in a quiet alley with a pale pink bougainvillea trellis in front of the porch. Every morning, Huyen opened the window to welcome the sunlight, while Day prepared a simple breakfast for his wife and their little daughter, Maya. Maya's laughter was as clear as droplets of water, echoing through the kitchen and dissolving all the worries of the young couple. Yet they did not know that in the shadows, a strange pair of eyes had been watching them for a long time. The man appeared like a shadow. Sometimes he stood at the entrance of the alley, pretending to be on the phone. Other times he sat in the cafe across from Huyen and Day's house, his cold gaze following their every step. His name was Thomat, the younger brother of Thuy, Day's ex-wife. Day's previous marriage to Thuy had ended in pain and misunderstanding. When Thuy left, carrying with her resentment and disappointment, Thomat also carried a smoldering hatred in his heart. He believed Day was the reason his sister had suffered, and Day's present happiness felt like a knife twisting deep inside him. Thomat had not been watching them for just a day or two. He knew Maya's school schedule, knew that Huyen often took her daughter to the park in the afternoons, knew that Day usually came home late on weekends because of work. Dark thoughts slowly took shape in his mind. He told himself that if he could destroy that happiness, he would avenge his sister. He did not realize that his blind hatred was dragging him farther and farther away from the boundaries of conscience. One morning, the city awoke beneath a thin veil of mist. Huyen took Maya out earlier than usual because the little girl had a school activity. Day had already left to make it to an important meeting. The alley was quiet, filled only with Maya's small footsteps and Huyen's gentle voice soothing her. As they reached the end of the alley, Thomat appeared. He smiled, a smile that never reached his eyes. "Excuse me, could you tell me the way?" he asked, his voice low and seemingly polite. Huyen hesitated briefly, but still gave directions. At that moment, Maya tugged at her mother's hand. A vague sense of unease made the child unusually silent. Thomat looked at Maya, and something in his eyes sent a chill down Huyen's spine. She quickly pulled her daughter closer, thanked him, and tried to leave. But he stepped forward, as if wanting to continue the conversation. Elsewhere in the city, Day felt a heavy weight in his chest. He didn't know why, but images of Huyen and Maya kept appearing in his mind. A vague intuition urged him to turn back. He recalled recent days when he had felt watched, the furtive glances when he picked Maya up at the school gate. He had thought it was just his imagination, but now the feeling became frighteningly clear. Day turned his motorbike around and rushed home. In his mind appeared the face of Thuy, his ex-wife, with wounded eyes on the day they separated, and Thomat, the man who had once confronted him with a hostile stare and bitter accusations. Day had thought everything was over, but the old cracks had never truly healed. When Day reached the entrance of the alley, he saw from afar the familiar figures of Huyen and Maya, and a man standing before them. His heart tightened. He stopped the bike and hurried toward them. By then, Huyen clearly sensed the danger. She held Maya's hand tightly, forcing herself to stay calm. "We're in a hurry," Huyen said, trying to end the conversation. The man chuckled softly, his voice lowering. "Don't you recognize me? I'm Thomat, Thuy's younger brother." The name struck like a bolt of lightning. Huyen had never met him, but she had heard Day talk about him. Thomat's eyes no longer pretended to be friendly. Maya clung to her mother, feeling the fear spreading among the adults. Just then, Day appeared. "Stay away from them," he said firmly. Thomat turned, hatred flashing in his eyes. "So you finally show up," he said. "You're living quite happily, aren't you, after ruining my sister's life?" Day stood in front of his wife and child. "What happened between Thuy and me is over. Don't drag them into this," he said, struggling to remain calm. But Thomat would not listen. He hurled bitter words, placing all his sister's suffering on Day's shoulders. In his rage, the malicious intentions he had nurtured for so long became clear. Huyen shuddered, holding Maya even tighter. She realized that if Day had not arrived in time, the consequences could have been unimaginable. Day did not argue. He focused on protecting his family, choosing his words carefully to buy time and look for a way out of the dangerous situation. Neighbors began to notice the confrontation. Curious glances turned toward them. That was what Day needed. He raised his voice, demanding that Thomat leave, drawing even more attention. Finally, under the pressure of watching eyes and Day's firm stance, Thomat stepped back. His gaze remained full of resentment, but he understood that his plan had been exposed. He turned and walked away, leaving behind a heavy, oppressive silence. Huyen trembled, tears streaming down her face. Maya burst into tears, clinging to her father. Day knelt down, held his daughter close, then turned to Huyen and squeezed her hand. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I wasn't careful enough." They returned home in silence. The familiar house suddenly felt fragile, as if a single gust of wind could blow away their peace. Yet, within that fear, one thing was clearer than ever. They had each other, and they would not let anyone destroy that. In the days that followed, Day chose to confront the past. He sought to resolve the remaining misunderstandings with Thuy, not to rekindle anything, but to close an old chapter with decency. Huyen, though still haunted, grew stronger. She realized that happiness was not only about peaceful mornings, but also the ability to stand firm in the face of storms. Maya gradually forgot the frightening morning, but the incident brought the small family even closer together. Day spent more time with his daughter. Huyen cherished every moment with her husband. They learned to look at each other more, to listen more, and to not let the past or others' hatred intrude on their lives. Thomat disappeared from the alley like a nightmare, fading with the coming of dawn, but the lesson he left behind remained. Happiness, if not protected, can become a target for hearts filled with resentment, and sometimes a single intuition, a timely turn back, is enough to save an entire family. Under the bougainvillea trellis in front of the house, Huyen once again opened the window every morning. The sunlight was still warm as ever. Maya laughed again, her clear laughter ringing out. Day watched his wife and daughter, silently vowing that no matter what the past held, he would do everything to protect the present, where there was love, family, and the peace he had almost lost.